All right, today we're going to talk about open source and information technology management. Probably thinking, what is open source? Open source is a development model that promotes universal access by the open source or free license to a product's design and redistribution of that design to other technology users. So it's free and accessible to anyone who wants to use it. Open source, the computer software is publicly accessible, it's easy to use, readily available, easily shared at no cost, and it's also safe and secure. Here's kind of a picture of what this tree, and it shows all the different applications in open source. What does open source provide us with? Well, especially in educational facilities, businesses, corporations, government facilities, or even individuals, it provides us with open exchange, collaboration, prototyping, transparency, meritocracy, as well as community, education, and development. So the awesome thing about open source is that anyone in the world can have access to its use through the software and can also change the source code of the open source. So therefore it can be viewed, copied, edited, or shared. Current examples of open source are LibreOffice, as well as GNU Image Manipulation Program. You're probably wondering, why is open source so important? Why does it matter to me? Well, the great thing about it is that open source allows individual technology users control over information on the browser. It provides businesses and universities with up-to-date data and statistics. Cloud computing can be open source, and it gives us a wide variety of access without any cost. And here is a picture of what open source looks like. You can kind of see all the different companies that use open source for any business or any user. There's kind of some balloons as well that show the technology going up in the air, and open source helps us connect with one another. So the benefits of open source, as I previously said, are it provides free and secure access to anyone who wants to use the browser and applications, to households or individuals, businesses or corporations, the government, laws, healthcare facilities, as well as educational institutions or universities. Here's kind of a business picture, how we incorporate open source today. The advantages of open source are that it gives individuals choices when using technology or computer systems. It's secure and protected software, modifiable, anyone can change it, gives us automatic updates, and open source is easily installed on a computer system. However, some of the disadvantages are that unless you're the main user that gives public access to others, you can't write your own code. You can change the code, but you can't write your own individual code. Unsupported software in the future, we're not really sure what open source will lead to, other technological advances. Modifying a source code can be expensive if you're the individual user and want to change it. It can be difficult to learn the software if you aren't trained in IT, but the IT team can help you with this. Another thing is that hackers are a threat. If they try to hack into the open source, they can get information from all the people using the open source. Here's kind of a business picture again, showing how we connect with the world through open source. It's readily available and it gives us easy access to data and information we need in the workplace as well as individual life. So, great thing about open source is it gives businesses flexibility, customizability, freedom of choice, support options, lower cost, as well as safe and secure means of getting information. So the great thing about open source is that it also benefits the economy. It helps businesses and corporations grow, ensures that everyone legally accepts the terms and conditions before its use. It helps us all connect with one another, even if we're thousands of miles away. Focuses on the economies of scale in our society, thus boosting the economy. And more businesses in present time are pushing to use open source. Here's kind of a picture, Microsoft open source, and you can see Firefox, Google, the different applications that use open source. So IT software development, open source is accessible to the public at no cost. It's changing the way we communicate and use the internet. It's more useful and free of errors, which is great when we use it on the browser because we want something efficient and effective. Anyone can modify the source code as previously stated. And lastly, the future technology of open source. You can see the bottom of the page is the business rationale holding the world, how open source can help us in our everyday lives as well as the workplace. We'll see new and developed technology in the future, thus open source will be more advanced with technological advances. Users want free and secure access, which open source provides us, and this will continue. Open source gives us the means of finding anything we need with a free, accessible, easy, and secure means of getting that. It's time for open source everything. Try to use open source in your daily life. The end. Thank you for listening.